Now, somewhere in all of there is the former ambassador to the United States of America, is Joe Hocky, and he joins us now from the RNC. Good to see you, Joe. Thanks for your time. So first of all, JD, what are your thoughts?
Well, he's got a great story, and that fits neatly in with the new Donald Trump. He comes from a broken family. His father abandoned him. His mother was addicted to drugs. He was raised by his grandparents who had very little money. He changed his name, married his childhood sweetheart, who is of Indian descent, met her at university, went to Yale Law School, and of course joined the Marines and fought in Iraq. He's a first-term senator. He was interestingly mentored by Peter Thiel, who is a multi-billionaire from Silicon Valley. And quite frankly, I would think that Peter Thiel had the greatest influence on Donald Trump in trying to convince him that JD Vance would be a strong candidate.
Well, I'd expect Hillbilly Elegy, his best-selling memoir, would surge back to the top of the charts now. Have you got a chance to meet him yet in your time in DC, Joe?
Look, I've come across him. I can't say I really know him. But like everyone else, I'll be going to Netflix and putting on the movie. It is a memoir about his life. It is a compelling story. But look, Peter, you know, what Donald Trump is doing is he's picking a sensible candidate as a running mate. And I think what's coming through, even speaking with delegates on the floor and around the convention centre, is that they want Donald Trump 2.0 to be sensible, measured, not to say outlandish things, not to be overly combative, and to deliver on his policies. And one of the biggest cheers today came when one of the speakers on the stadium said that, in fact, Donald Trump is going to commit to abolish the income tax on tips. And the place erupted. And again, it comes back to Donald Trump's policies. And it's not just the arm wrestle of personalities between Biden and Trump.
More on that in a moment. Just one more on JD Vance. You know, he is young, which definitely juxtaposes against the advanced ages of Trump and Biden. How much of this is a strategic play on Trump's behalf?
Oh, it's totally strategic. Donald Trump is strategic. Bear in mind, he'll see Vance as young, and I've been saying it for some time now, that if Donald Trump's elected, the next 4 years are going to be like one long episode of The Apprentice. Donald Trump confirmed it today on social media. He said it's choosing his vice president's a bit like going down the path of The Apprentice. So whilst JD Vance might have an inside running to succeed Donald Trump, there'll be many other contenders. And the fact is, it's an awfully difficult job at the best of times, let alone working with Donald Trump, who, as we know, has very strong personal opinions, very strong views about policies, and can be unpredictable.
So if this is Trump reborn, or because he is changing the draft of his speech following the events of 2 days ago, and it is Trump 2.0, like you say, how long can he stay that way?
That's a great question. No one knows. But you know, in truth, if you survived an assassination attempt and you were shot, and you know, now I believe Joe Biden is locked in as a Democrat candidate and as president, it's Donald Trump's campaign to lose. And the one thing I very definitely know is that Donald Trump 2.0 is a lot hungrier to be president of the United States than Donald Trump 1.0. First time round, he didn't think he could win. He did. This time round, he needs to win. And that's because of a range of different factors. His own personality, he hates to lose, but also the fact that he has numerous court cases and wants to prove that he can beat the system that he sees as being corrupted against him.
Well, he already had a plus with his documents case in Florida thrown out this morning, which is not insignificant, that's for sure. There is going to be appeal, but we'll see how that goes. So I just want to pick up, you mentioned there that you think Joe Biden is now a lock for the Democratic ticket. A lot of people talking about this now too, since the assassination attempt on Trump. Why do you think Joe Biden is now a lock?
Well, it's not like Joe Biden to give up. He's never given up at any stage, at any point in his life, no matter how significant the adversity. Firstly, following the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, if Joe Biden resigns now, he looks as though he's resigning in fear.
Yeah.
And that's not Joe Biden, and that's not the candidate. The second thing is, until now, the issue dominating the campaign was Joe Biden's health. I think Joe Biden has a semi-credible story now that if he loses to Donald Trump, it's because Donald Trump won momentum and unbeatable momentum out of the terrible events of Saturday night. It's also the case that Joe Biden just can't prosecute the case against Donald Trump, even before Saturday night, that Donald Trump was evil and a threat. Since Saturday night, it's very difficult to prosecute that argument. At the same time, tell the American people that we need to be calmer, more deferential to each other and respectful of each other. It's just not going to work.
Is it also a case of the other Democrats knowing now that they're likely to get trounced in November? So what's the point? Keep the powder dry for 4 more years.
No, it's not the case. I can tell you very senior Democrats I've spoken to in the last 48 hours, they were in shock, which I must say surprised me, but they were in shock about the attempt on Donald Trump's life, but they're also in total despair because they know that Joe Biden just can't prosecute the case, and the chances of replacing him or convincing him more significantly to resign or to step down from the candidacy, it's just highly unlikely at this point.
Okay. Joe Hocky, really appreciate your time as always. Good to chat. We'll talk to you again soon.